Tis. Shalom. Might as well test that shit too.
Mic check.
Yo.
Nah, hell nah. That shit sound bogus. Hold on.
Yo, testing the mic at. Man. Birmingham La Beb. Yo, test. Yeah, my shit's straight, cuz. Shit. Man, Levi's always late, huh? About over 2 hours. Better add 20 minutes. Man. If you gonna test your shit, talk, nigga. Ah, shit. Fucking screen going out.
Mic check.
You're understandable, but it's ass. I can't even hear you no more. I don't know. I can't even hear you.
Alright, what about now?
Alright, I can hear you. It's still a choppy for some reason.
This shit, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck. Alright, hold on.
Yeah, brothers in the stream, and we're about to go into this new moon doctrine, man. We've listened to Jeshurun response, and we got some contentions that we're going to address. They've asked some questions that we're going to directly address. And we're going to present some things that haven't been put upon the table yet. So it should be a good stream. We're just getting everything situated. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, mic check.
Bit decent, cuz.
It still sound a little crazy though.
It's decent though, like you straight.
Hold on, let me know. I'm gonna use that other mic. Hold on.
Yeah, man. When we say Levi's be lit. Ah, shit. Fuck. Damn, this chair just broke. I better say when we say Levi's be lit, that be real reasons, bro. Fuck. Nothing, they gotta fix the fucking chair. Whole ass. Yeah, bear with me, cuz I'm finna figure some shit out. Just broke this motherfucking chair. Hold on.
My check. My check. My check. Like, if you're watching, can you can run in the chat if you can hear me clearly? I'm running in the chat if you can hear me clearly.
Nah, but your shit, man, that shit ass, bro.
This is one
Sound like you underwater.
thing.
Those settings on the back.
What about now? How it sound now?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hold on, that talk again.
How it sound now?
Yeah, yeah, that shit's great.
This it right here?
Yeah. Yeah, keep talking though, but you talking for like 1 second, so I'm trying to decipher.
Like check how it sound. It sound.
You know what, bro? Like you keep sounding like a robot. Like I don't know what it is.
Yeah, come on, how I'm talking about what? Is it too loud now? Do I still sound like a damn robot or whatever?
You don't sound like no robot. You sound like a fucking alien in this motherfucker with an accent. Nah, you need to get that shit right though. Fucking broke this chair, bro. Goddamn, man.
Man, how about now? What? Do I sound better now? Or this still sound crazy?
It sounds better. Like I can make out what you're saying, fine, but the quality
You
is
can make out
not
what I'm
good.
saying, but that shit still sound empty.
It's just not. It's not good.
You can hear me? What the fuck is going on, bro? I could put a new did this thing before, bro. But something like I'm new to this apartment, and this shit's done. Just being good. You go to all my other live streams and stuff, my other videos. I'm so good.
When you're editing the microphone, damn man, this African motherfucker, bro. He keep fucking calling me, bro. Every 20 fucking minutes, this nigga calling me. I was about to say, when you go to your settings and you're changing the mic, stop going outside of your StreamYard. Just go to the StreamYard. Because when we first got on here, your mic was decent. I think it was coming out of the laptop mic. You just got to put it back on that.
Man, how I'm sounding now, Rock?
It sounded the same. Speak some more.
Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
I think we could do it like that.
We can do it like this.
Yeah.
Let me see something right. This shit even play with your ass on that shit. Play your ass on that shit. Yeah, man, this shit don't even sound good, bro.
Yeah, that shit sound ass now. Um, damn. Shit, man. Man, we gonna get to it. Bear with us.
Can you hear me out?
Yeah.
You said yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you. What you on your phone or something?
No, I ain't on my phone. I'm on a computer.
Yeah, the mic better, but there's an echo when I talk.
I'm on a computer.
Yeah, the mic better. So what you could do, you could put your headphones in, go to your
I'm not doing that shit no more. I'm not.
That,
We just finna deal with the fucking echo, bro. I finally got my mic together, bro.
not the echo tail. You can't bear that shit.
I don't hear no echo.
No, there's a. If you go on the stream, there's a lot of that shit. I'm saying if you put your headphones in, you can keep.
Oh yeah, I hear the shit on your shit.
Yeah, you can keep the audio going to your headphones, but you can keep your mic the same. So right now, just go to your settings and see what mic you're using. And on that settings page, attach your headphones. And when the mic switches, just switch it back to what it was on prior.
Okay, so now. You can still hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
How does shit sound? That's good now?
Great. Yeah.
Alright, cool. We might got the breakdown.
Yeah, okay.
How does shit sound? That's good now? Yeah. Alright, cool. We might got the breakdown. Alright, all praise to the Most High, man. Right? We got that shit together through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? So, yeah, first and foremost, want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so by Hashem Yahushua. That's Yahweh, who the world innerly calls God. In the name of the Son, Yahushua, who the world knows is Jesus Christ. Right?
We're innerly calls Yeshua.
Right. Who the world ignorantly calls Yeshua, Jesus. Right? What's another one they say? Yeshua. You know, they just coming out with anything right now.
Yahushua, that shit don't even sound fly.
Yeah, Yahushua, Yahusha. You know, it's crazy out here, right? It's diabolical, right? But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we finna get it in through the spirit, man. You know, and basically address these points, that the brothers at Jeshurun, Salakia for our delay, but that the brothers at Jeshurun, basically was, they made some points and all that, and I told one of the brothers that the points y'all making is, to rebuttal was really not biblical for real. No disrespect to them brothers, but the points that y'all was making, they really not biblical, and we go keep it straight biblical though. We gonna keep it straight biblical. We gonna go into that text, right? And we go bring out the understanding and help, our people, get the proper understanding of these things and what goes down. Especially being priests and priestly duties. Brothers can't really tell us, what's going on these type of days and these type of things, when we could clearly see it in the text, right? So
yeah, man. A lot of
go ahead, King.
A lot of it is just reading comprehension and
That's all.
considering the right things.
That's it.
Right? When you don't consider certain things, the conclusion may seem like something it isn't. That's all it is, man. So we're gonna present that most I willing today. So let's get into it. You want to address their questions?
Yeah, let's address their questions. Get that out the way, and then we go into everything else.
Yeah, so they brought up a multiplicity of things that we're gonna address, but towards the end of the stream, whenever they asked two questions, right, specifically. One of them was, do you give Sabbath sacrifices on new moon? That's what we're about to go into. The second one is, how do you get Pentecost ending on day 50 if the new moon is a Sabbath? That's what I was pertaining to when I said reading comprehension. So we're going to get to that prior. We're going to do this. Do you give Sabbath sacrifices on new moon? Now, the rightful answer is we give a new moon sacrifice on the Sabbath, contrary, right? So you have a sacrifice for every month, which would be the new moon. Then the 8th, 15th, and 22nd, you have the Sabbath sacrifice, right? So these things have to cycle out. You're not going to get a new moon sacrifice on a normal Sabbath throughout the week, right? But when we go to Numbers 28 and verse 17.
Salakia, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up on the screen so that people can follow along.
Yeah, pull it up
Hold
on the
real
screen.
quick.
So basically, before we read it, the same sacrifice we do for new moon, we also do for the 15th day. Now, Jeshurun also believes the 15th day is a Sabbath. There's going to be no negating, no debating that, right? So,
Salakia, not just any 15th day. You know that the Feast of Unleavened Bread,
right,
which is the Sabbath. Salakia. Where you want to start at so I can share my screen?
First, let's go to verse 17, and then we're going to skip down to verse, what is that? When it talks about new moon, which is 10. But yeah, let's get 17 right now. Right, so the things we're going to see sacrifice. We got 2 bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs, and then 1 goat for a sin offering. So let's go 17. And in the 15th day of this month in the feast, 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. And the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no manner of servile work therein. Verse 19, but ye shall offer a sacrifice made by fire for a burnt offering unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks and 1 ram and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish, and their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. 3/10 deals shall ye offer for a bullock, and 2/10 deals for a ram. Let's skip to verse 22. Verse 22, and 1 goat for a sin offering, right? So we have 2 bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs, and 1 goat. That's the main point, right? Without all the noise. So if we go down to verse 10. All right, let's read. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And in the beginning of your months, ye shall offer a burnt offering. Right, so this is the context starting at verse 11, right? And in the beginning of your months, which is day 1, ye shall offer a burnt offering unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks and 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without spot. Skipping down to verse
So Salakia.
14. Yep.
Salakia, can you hear me?
Yep.
So it just said the same. That's the same sacrifice, you know, that you give on a new moon. You give every new moon, and it told you to provide that same sacrifice, you know, on the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is the 15th, right? Which it says you shall do no servile work, which is the Sabbath, right? So what the brother, what this is, the explanation of this is that you have regular Sabbaths, right, which are, you know, the weekly Sabbath. And then you have what they call our high days or high Sabbaths, right? Which we could read about in the scriptures, right? The new moon, right? It's a Sabbath, but it's a high Sabbath, right? The first day of the feast, the first and the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, it's a Sabbath, but it's a high Sabbath. So like, let me just hit this, and then I'm gonna let you continue on. So like,
Yeah, the only thing I was gonna bring out is in verse 14 it says 1 goat for a sin offering, and that parallels the unleavened bread offerings, right?
This is the book of John, chapter 19, and verse 31, right? Speaking on the first day of unleavened bread, It says the Jews therefore, because it was the preparation. Oh, wait, hold on. And this day, this preparation day, what day did Yahweh Shah die, Kapad?
14th day.
On the Passover, right? It is called the Passover, a preparation day. What is the preparation day? Preparation day is the last working day before the Sabbath, right? Because I believe them brothers said that, it wouldn't be no work being done on the Passover because it's the Passover. But it just called the Passover a preparation day. Go ahead.
Yeah, matter of fact, I got this screenshot. I want to know if you could go to it. I just put.
You got to email it to me.
Yeah, you see the StreamYard chat right there?
Just like it. Hold on. Let me stop sharing my screen.
So we're gonna pull up a quote. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you, they were getting busy in my Facebook comments. Got about 50 comments on one post.
It ain't let me. Hold on. Let me copy and paste it.
I'm not sure if you can. Let me see. I'm gonna do it just in case.
Open link. No, it's not. It's not letting me open it.
Okay, I'm emailing it right now.
All right, come. So yeah, like I was saying though, you have regular Sabbath, the regular weekly Sabbath. You give sacrifices and offerings on that. You have the new moon, right? And you have days like the first and last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, as well. That starts with the Sabbath and ends with the Sabbath. Those are what you consider high Sabbaths, right? Which we could read about in the scriptures. Did you email it to me?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me go to it.
While you're getting that, so he just read the account in John. We also have an account.
I didn't finish it though. Hold on, I ain't finished it though.
Okay, go ahead, finish that.
Let me see.
Pull that shit up real quick.
I wanted to pull this up first. Yeah. It's nasty work.
Indeed.
All right, come. This is brother Eyes. How you say it? Is it Eyes or IZ? Eyes Gadar Yasharala, right?
Shout out,
right?
Nah. Shout out.
Right. Shout out to the brother. It say because it not included in the work week, just because no work is done on the new moon doesn't make it a Sabbath. Because if that's the case, then the Passover and Pentecost is a Sabbath, and we know on Pentecost and Passover nobody would be working.
Who knows that?
Right?
I don't know that.
I don't know that either.
I don't know that because it just called it a preparation day.
Right, it just called it a John and Slakia. You can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
In John 19:31, it says that the Jews therefore, which is this the day Yahushua died. The Jews therefore, because it was the preparation, right? The preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day. That means the preparation is the day before the Sabbath, right? It says for that Sabbath day was an high day. Why? Because it was the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? It says besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. So the next day, right, was a Sabbath day, right? It was a preparation. Yahushua died on the Passover. It called the Passover a preparation day, which means it was your last working day before the Sabbath comes in, right? So
let me read this account real quick.
Go ahead.
So this is Matthew 27 and verse 60. And laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sculpture and departed. And there was Mary Magdalene, and the other Mary sitting over against the sculpture. Now verse 62 is the point. Now the next day that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate. Right, so the next day would be a day of preparation. I mean, the 14th is a day of preparation. The next day would be the 15th. That's the work day.
Mm-hmm.
The no work day, my bad.
Cool. So going back to Numbers 28, right, to sum up that point, Salakia, was you done on that?
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, okay. But yeah, another. Well, we gonna get into that later on. We gonna get into that later on. We gonna come back to Numbers 28 for sure. Right. Uh, the next question, right? With the Pentecost, right? So let's go to Leviticus 23rd chapter.
How do you get Pentecost ending on day 50 if the new moon is a Sabbath?
Right. So yes, Pentecost ends on day 50, but it's something that you have to do before you number the 50 days. You have to number 7 Sabbaths, right?
Yeah.
And like the brother Kapai said, this is just reading comprehension.
Yeah, so what we're gonna conclude is that May 22nd is the 7th Sabbath, and what we're gonna show you how we get that concluded.
Right. This is Leviticus 23 and 15. It says, "And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete." Right? Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath. So even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath, after the 7th Sabbath, after the 7th Sabbath, shall you number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. Right? So after you count the 7 Sabbaths, you number 50 days. Let me pull up this calendar. Right?
So
Is this that calendar? Salaki, hold on. Yeah.
So you would start numbering May 23rd.
Right. So what you do is you start from the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Right. So Passover was March 31st for us. Right. First day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread was the 1st. Last day was the 8th. Right. Salaki, can you see this?
Yeah, you good.
I need to let me make it bigger. All right, there you go. Is it better now?
Yeah, you straight.
All right, so last day was the 8th, right? So we're going to number 7 Sabbaths, right? So 1, right? 2, 3, 4 would be the 30th, right? So like 5, right? New moon comes in on the 15th. 6, 7, May 22nd. And now we're going to number 50 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, which will give us July 11th for the date of our Pentecost, right? Which isn't a hard thing to understand. It's like the brother said, it's just reading comprehension. Let me put this up real quick. Show this real quick for y'all. Right. You see on our this is the angel's calendar right here, right? Right. So you have our Feast of First Fruits. So like not Feast of First Fruits. So like Pentecost. It's the wrong calendar. I need the revised calendar. It's the revised calendar. I need the revised one. Is this it? Slovakia. I believe that's the right one. Oh yeah, okay, here. Wait, no, this is not the right. So let me pull up our right calendar. Bear with me. Cause I had to redo our calendar due to some errors that I seen in it. Let me email this to myself. Okay, come on, let me share my screen. I like this background. That shit hard. Right.
Advertising StreamYard shit.
All right, so Con, right, as you see on our calendar, right, this is our revised calendar because at first we was following along with other camps, and I was looking at some of the dates, and I was like, yeah, this can't be right, you know. So I went and revised the calendar, right, and we see right here July 11th is our day of Pentecost, right. So all praise to the Most High. We got that. Right, so the proper way to do it is to you count out the 7 Sabbaths, right? The new moon, you know, is along with the Sabbaths as well, right? All the way you count down the 7 Sabbaths. That's all it's saying. It's the number 7 Sabbaths, and then after that, after those 7 Sabbaths, shall you number 50 days. So we number 50 days, and that gave us July 11th, right? It's just simple reading comprehension. Right, you're trying to squeeze 7. You're trying to make the 7 Sabbaths into the 50 days, and you know that they come consecutive, right? Not within each other, but they come consecutive. The 7 Sabbaths, then the 50 days. You count out, right? It's just simple reading comprehension, right? So that was that. What else we got now?
Well, we gotta hit on Exodus 40. They think that was a banger what they presented, but
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
most
so
time, correct.
they pointed out the fact that we're working on the Sabbath or the first day, which they don't believe is a Sabbath, so it can't be a Sabbath. But the thing is, the Levites work every fucking Sabbath, nigga.
Exactly, right. We work every Sabbath. We work every day, matter of fact. Right? Every day. So, Exodus 40, verse 1, it says, And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, On the first day of the first month shalt thou set up the tabernacle of the congregation, right? And thou shalt put therein the ark of the testimony and cover the ark with the veil. So they said, because of this being set up and because of all these holy things being set in order, right, the Levites were working. Right, and we see every Sabbath, like that's why I said we're gonna revisit Numbers 28. Am I sharing my screen?
Nah.
Damn. Fuck you. All right, so come on. Like I was saying, Exodus 40:1, the Lord said, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, On the first day of the first month shalt thou set up the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation, right? And thou shalt put therein the ark of the testimony and cover the ark with the veil, right? And thou shalt bring in the table and set it in order, the things that are to be set in order upon it. And thou shalt bring in the candlestick and the lamps thereof, right? So the brother said that, you know, this is work being done, which means that this can't be a Sabbath, right? But we commonly see throughout the scriptures, right, the Levites doing work on the Sabbath. Yahweh Shai even said on his own, right? Let me get that in Matthew 12. Right. This is Matthew 12 and verse 5. It says, Or have you not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless, right? So the priests in the temple, right, they profane the Sabbath every Sabbath. How are they profaning the Sabbath? Go ahead.
That precept right here. So what he's referring to is Numbers 28 and verse 9, where the priests literally have to make sacrifices, which is cooking on the Sabbath, but they are blameless. So, and on the Sabbath day, 2 lambs of the first year without spot and 2 tenth deals of flour, for a meat offering mingled with oil, and the drink offering thereof. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. Right, so it's not a point of contention if you're gonna have that be a point of contention, you gotta also have this be a point of contention. And then we have
Right.
what Christ said, where the priests are blameless. Now you do have a version of work where you need to be held accountable, but that's not the priest's work. So,
Right.
for example, in Ezekiel 20, where it says they pollute the Sabbaths and something about their idols, is not referring to what the priests have to do, right? So what the priests are doing is commanded. So you can look at the situation where the Most High commanded Moses to command the Levites to kill every man their brother, in the situation where they were worshiping the golden calf, right? That wasn't a sin. It was commanded by the Most High. They were doing good, right? They were just following out orders. It's the same thing with Exodus 40, man. It's just orders. It's not sinful. It's thus said the Lord.
Exactly. Right. And another thing, the brother said that, this is when the tabernacle was first getting put up. Right. That's another thing that's, not biblical, right? Against scripture. Right. Because if this was the first time the tabernacle was being set up, why do we see in Exodus 33, for example, right? Exodus 33. I'm going to jump down to verse 7. Exodus 33 and 7, it says, and Moses took the tabernacle, right, and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of the congregation. And it came to pass that every one which sought the Lord went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation, which was without the camp. Right? So it says he pitched it without the camp. Right? So when you go into that word pitch, let's go into that word pitch. Right? Because the brothers tried to go, they was talking about it got erected. Erected means to build, which we go into that. Erect does mean to build. And we definitely go into that, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. Right? So where's that at? To pitch. Where's that word at? It's like y'all pass it up. Right? Pitched, which is the Hebrew word natah. Right? H5186. It says to stretch or spread out. Right? To stretch or spread out. Let's go down. Right? It says, where is that I wanted? To stretch out, spread out, stretch out, extend, stretch, right? To pitch tent, right? To spread out, pitch tent, right? It's another one that I want to go into. Here you go, right here, right? Incline, spread tent, right? To spread tent, right? So we just go ask Google or whatever, right? What does it mean to pitch a tent? Right? Pitch a tent literally means to set up a tent. Meaning the tent is getting built, it's being set up. Right? When we keep Feast of Tabernacles, we're pitching our tents. Right? We're setting up our tents. We're building them, putting them together, lining them down, sticks up, doing whatever we got to do, putting them inside the little ring or whatever. Right? It says, it is in the most straightforward sense, to pitch a tent means to set up a tent for camping or temporary shelter, right? So it says this involves selecting a suitable site, laying out the tent, securing it with stakes, and arranging the interior for sleeping or storage, right? So, Moses pitched the tent without the camp, without the congregation, right? As we read in, where I was just at, Exodus 33 and verse 7, the tabernacle been built since then, right? Exodus 40 is not the first time the tabernacle is being built, right? Exodus 40 is just the Lord giving instruction, right? Saying, hey, put that showbread on the table on this day, right? Which is what? The new moon, right? The brother, shout out to the brother Shirach. What's that precept? 2 Chronicles?
2 Chronicles 4 and verse 2.
Right, 2 Chronicles 4. Shout out to the brother Shirach in Philly, man. Inbox me with a mean precept. Right? This 2 Chronicles 4 and you sure it was 2?
First.
Or was it 2 and 4? 2 and 4.
Yeah, 2 and 4. 2 and 4.
Shalakia. Second Chronicles 2 and 4. The brother gave us a mean precept, right, in agreement with us. So it says, "Behold, I build an house to the name of Yahweh my power, to dedicate it to him and to burn before him sweet incense and for continual showbread," right? So sweet incense to be burned inside the inside the temple, right? And it says continual showbread. And for the burnt offerings morning and evening on the Sabbaths and on the new moons, right? And on solemn feasts of the Lord our God. This is an ordinance forever to Israel, right?
Yeah,
Right, so the showbread. Go ahead. You said what? Click on the translation.
Translation right there. Because when it says, and the Sabbath, and the new moon, and the solemn feast, somebody may conclude a separation of these things. But the correct translation would be Sabbath, new moon, which are solemn feasts, right? And this word for solemn feast is what? Moed. Go to the go up. Go to what the word means.
Oh, Salakia. I thought you said go to the translations. The different translations. My bad, Salakia.
Go to the Strongs. Okay. So and is gonna be a dead translation. So keep scrolling down for the continual and for the burnt offerings morning
Right here.
and evening on the Sabbaths and hold on, no, okay, go back. Yeah, go back to what I read.
I'm tweaking. All right.
Go back to the page. Okay, so you see how it says on the Sabbaths and on the new moons, and is a dead translation. So you have the word Sabbath, new moons, moed, right? Now this word for moed, if I'm pronouncing that shit right, I'm just butchering that motherfucker. But it means assembly. It doesn't always mean to feast, because we know that on the Sabbaths and the new moons, you don't mandatorily have to feast. You can even fast, right? We know that Yahweh Shai Christ fasted 40 days and 40 nights. The same thing Moses did, right? He fasted, right? So, if you go to this word moed, click on that motherfucker. That means appointment, assembly, and congregation. You're also going to see feast because it's used in that manner sometimes. But now go back up. They changed where the Strongs is at. I don't know why they did that shit, but it's at the top now. So you got appointment, assembly, and congregation. This word doesn't have to be in reference to a feast. And I'm going to prove that with Exodus 33 and 5. Go there. Okay, so this is Exodus 33 and 5. For the Lord, the point is in 7, but I'm going to just give the context. For the Lord had said unto Moses, saying to the children of Israel, ye are a stiff-necked people. I will come up into the midst of thee in a moment and consume thee. Therefore now put off thine ornaments from thee, that I may know what to do unto thee. Verse 6. And the children of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments by the Mount Horeb. And Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp. You just read this shit, ain't it? And Moses called it the tabernacle of the congregation. Now this word for congregation goes into moed. And it came to pass that everyone that which sought the Lord went unto the tabernacle of the congregation, which was without the camp. Now this isn't talking about a fucking feast, that they're just assembling. Right. So this word could be used in that manner. So if you go back to Chronicles real quick, just to read it with comprehension now, because somebody may say, since Leviticus 24, the showbread has been continually put on the table only on the Sabbaths, but not the new moons, right? Because let's say that the showbread was put on the table the Sabbaths, right? They believe the 29th is a Sabbath. And then 1 or 2 days later, you have the new moon come around. So instead of it being a weekly cycle, you would have extra showbread, right?
Right.
So, 2 Chronicles 2 and verse 4. Behold, I build an house to the name of the Lord my God, to dedicate it to him, and to burn before him sweet incense, and for the continual showbread, and for the burnt offerings, morning and evening, on Sabbaths and on new moons, right? We read the translation, and is the dead translation. So it's on the Sabbaths, new moons, and on assemblies, and on the solemn feasts of the Lord our God. This is an ordinance forever to Israel. Because we know the showbread isn't made at any solemn assembly, specifically the new moon and the Sabbath. Contextually, that's what we see. So we're just solidifying that point. So,
just solidifying that point.
Yeah,
Right.
It's kind of inconsistent, and there's going to be extra showbread. It just doesn't really make too much sense.
Yeah, it don't make sense. And the showbread not getting put on the table twice in 1 week. You know, so that's nasty work. Right, what's another thing the brothers were saying? I was writing the points down. We got
Hold on, one more point. So when you go to Isaiah 66:23, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. That's going into Moed, right? Which means to assemble, that congregation, right?
Mm-hmm.
One new moon to another, one new moon to one Sabbath, right? Or whatever.
Right. I believe the brothers, they went into on a video. What was that?
They bumping that shit outside, ain't
Yeah, you hear that?
they?
What is that? What's that? They went into a word that went to talking about erect. I forgot which word it was. Right, so they went into the word erect or whatever. I forgot which word it was for erect. You remember?
You just gotta read the context. Rear it up when the tabernacle was reared.
Yeah, reared up. Where is that at? 17 time. And it came to pass in the first month in the second year on the first day of the month that the tabernacle was reared up, right? So they wanted to rear it up. Reared up Quam, which means to rise, right? Like Quam Yasharala, right? So, let's see, where did it go? I don't like how they changed this shit either. But, yeah. To arise, become powerful, to stand, maintain itself, persist, exist. I'm gonna jump down, right, to this one right here. It says, to cause to arise, to raise, set up, erect, build, right? So they went into that. Then they went into the word erect. And they saying, well, see, the tabernacle is being erect. It's being built for the first time. The tabernacle was always being taken down, built back up, taken down, built back up, taken down, built back up, right? And we have a whole process, right? You have offices for each Levitical family, according to the chief fathers of the Levites, right? With Aaron on down, you have offices, and lots were casted for each family, and each family has their own specific duty when it comes to the transportation of the tabernacle, right? We're gonna go to the book of Numbers, the 4th chapter, right? Each family had their own specific duty, and David, in his time, he multiplied those offices, right? He multiplied those offices. Gave offices to the singers and all that, added singers and all that, like the sons of Asaph and things like that. That's why you see all those psalms of Asaph. Asaph was a Levite. He was over the singers, right? So we gonna go to Numbers, the 4th chapter. We gonna read 1 through 6. It say, and Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi, right? So you got the sons of Kohath, which is a family, after their families by the house of their fathers, right? from 30 years old and up, so like from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, right? So these had to be strong, grown, strong men, 30 years old and upward, right? It says, this shall be the service of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation. So the Lord is telling Moses, this going to be their service. This going to be their work that they have to do in the tabernacle. This is their duty about the most holy things, right? It says, and when the camp setteth forward, right? When the camp setteth forward, when the camp is on the move, right? Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil and cover the ark of the testimony with it. So they take down the covering veil, right? The veil that was, rent in twain in the time of Yahushua's death, right? They take that veil and they cover up the ark of the testimony, right? It says, and shall put thereon the covering of badger skins, and shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put in the staves thereof. And upon the table of showbread, so upon that table where the showbread, and the dishes and the spoons and all these things in which Aaron and his sons will eat the sacrifices at, right? Pertaining to Leviticus, the 2nd chapter, Aaron and his sons, they eat the sacrifices are for them to eat, right? Which means they were cooking, right? It was cooking being done on that Sabbath, because Aaron and his sons have to eat those sacrifices, right? So it says, and upon the table of the showbread they spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes and the spoons and the bowls, and covers to cover withal, and the continual bread shall be thereon. And they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet, and cover the same with the covering of badger skins, and shall put the staves thereon, right, to carry and transport it. And they shall take a cloth of blue, and cover the candlestick of the light, and his lamps, and his tongs, and his snuff dishes, and all the oil vessels thereof, wherewith they minister it, right? So basically they covering everything up, right? Even the golden altar, and upon the golden altar they shall spread a cloth of blue. So it's a lot of people that say the fire was never put out. The fire burned continually, right? Well, when we had to go on a move, the golden altar had to be covered up. You can't put a cloth over fire, it's gonna burn, right? Which means the fire had to be put out in order for the altar to be transported. It says, the golden altar shall spread a cloth of blue, and cover it with the covering of badger skins, and shall put to the staves thereof. And they shall take all the instruments of ministry wherewith they minister in the sanctuary, and put them in a cloth of blue, and cover them with the covering of badger skins, and shall put them on a bar. And they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread purple cloth thereon. And they shall put upon it the vessels thereof, wherewith they minister about it, even the censers, the flesh hooks, and the shovels, and the basins, and the vessels of the altar. And they shall spread upon it a covering of badger skins, and put to the staves of it, right? And it says, when Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is to set forward, meaning the camp is on the move. Whenever the chariot, lifted up from off the tabernacle, that means we're going to be on the move. When the chariot rested above the tabernacle, that means we're going to stay put. You can read about that, and I believe in, what is that, Exodus 14? I believe Exodus 14 speaks on that, right? The Lord led us through with the pillar of a cloud by day, and the pillar of fire by night, and it rested upon, whenever it didn't move, right? Salakia. Where I was just at, 15. And his sons have made an end of the covering of the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is to set forward. After that, the sons of Kohath, right, shall come to bear it, meaning bear it, to carry it, right? But they shall not touch any holy thing lest they die. So they have to hold the cloths, right? They can't touch the holy thing. Only Aaron and his sons were able to touch those things. These things are the burden of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation. So they had to carry those things, right? You had another family, right? You got Eleazar, the son of Aaron. He had to do the oil and the incense, right? He had to do those things. And the daily meat offering, right? So you had a meat offering every day, right? Even on the Sabbath day, you have to do the daily offering and you have to do the Sabbath day offering. The Levites was always working continually. But I'm bringing all of this out to show that the tabernacle was always being taken down, built back up, taken down, built back up, right? So I'm going to jump down to verse 31. I mean, not 31, so 21. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take also the sum of the sons of Gershon, right, throughout the house of their fathers by their families, from 30 years old and upward until 50 years old shalt thou number them, and all that enter in to perform the service to do work in the tabernacle of the congregation, right? This is the service of the families of the Gershonites to serve and for burdens, right? And they shall bear the curtains of the tabernacle and the tabernacle of the congregation, his covering, and the covering of the badger skins that is above upon it, and the hanging of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So the Gershonites had to carry the curtains, right? They had to carry the curtains of the tabernacle, and everything that basically, was covering above it, right? So they had to transport those things. Right, you got the family of the duties of the Merarites. All the way on down, you have Levite families, Levitical families, according to the house of their fathers. They had to, do the transportations. They had assigned duties of the transporting of the tabernacle. So the tabernacle was always being taken down and rebuilt whenever we, set forward or was on the move. You got any points on that?
Yeah, so basically the reason that they brought that out is because they're trying to show that we were doing laborers work on the Sabbath, or the first day, which we call the Sabbath, right? But we do laborers work every fucking Sabbath. So
every Sabbath.
To exemplify that, you could go to 2 Chronicles 29 and go verse 34. So not just the Aaronites would sacrifice and cook, but the Levites, because the Levites also assist them. The Levites have various duties in the temple.
Said 34?
Yeah.
Come on.
So, but the priests were too few so that they could not flay all the burnt offerings. Well, what does it mean to flay? That's skinny, right? That's laborious work. Wherefore their brethren, the Levites, did help them till the work was ended, right? Work, right? So this can be a situation on the Sabbath. You deal with burnt offerings every fucking Sabbath. So wherefore their brethren, the Levites, did help them till the work was ended, and until the other priests had sanctified themselves, for the Levites were more upright in heart to sanctify themselves than the priests. Right? So they had more jobs. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 9. I mean 1 Chronicles 9. So like,
where you want to go?
1 Chronicles 9 and 26.
You said 9?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so for these Levites, the 4 chief porters were in their set office and were over the chambers and treasures of the house of God. And they lodged round about the house of God, because the charge was upon them, and the opening thereof every morning pertained to them. So they're guarding and operating temple access, right? And this was every day, every morning. You see, it says. Right, I'm just showing those verses to say, showing Exodus 40 where we got more parallel examples where the Levites have to work. The Levites aren't like you different tribes, man. We don't get no days off. I mean, we got a cycle that shifts and shit like that, but as a people group, we don't get any days off, man. We working every fucking day.
Bro, and we don't get tired either. Right, we don't get tired. That's our duty. That's our obligation. We real life joined to the Lord. Loya, which means joined unto me. Right, we real life joined to the Lord in this operation that we have to do. Being His priests, being His ministers. Right.
As you just, man, do the angels ever stop fucking working?
Exactly.
Even on the Sabbath, the angels work for us. The Levites work for the nation. It's
right.
the same thing,
Let me see. I want to touch on this.
Oh, you shot a prayer up on the Sabbath, so now the angel he can't take it to the Most High. It's on the Sabbath.
Exactly.
He off duty right now.
Exactly. He got it. He can't work. You know, he on vacation on the Sabbath. It's like, what was that? I want to. Right, this is
somebody get around to Levi. They want to ask him a question because we're the mediators, nigga.
Right. Where did I say Aaron and his son shall eat it in the most holy place? It's Leviticus 2, and I'm going to read verse 1 and 2, then I'm going to jump 1 through 3, and I'm going to jump down. And when any will offer a meat offering unto Yahweh, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon, and he shall bring it to Aaron's sons, the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. And if thou bring an oblation of a meat offering baken in the oven, it shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. And if thy oblation, let me see, I'm going to jump down to where it says, they shall be Aaron and his sons. Okay, here you go. Verse 10, it says, and that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. Right, let me see where it says. I believe it says they shall eat it. I could be tripping. Let me see, hold on, let me make sure. Hold on, bear with me.
Put a one in the chat if you following along, man. There's some more shit we gotta get into. They made a lot of points, so what we're gonna.
Okay, Leviticus 6. Salakia. The 6th chapter. Right, this is Leviticus 6 and what I want, 16. Right, Leviticus 6 and 16. Right, it says the priest part in the offerings, right? That's the highlight of this part. I'm going to read with these first 2 verses, and I'm going to jump down. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, command Aaron and his sons, saying, this is the law of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night until the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be burning in it, right? I'm going to jump down to verse 16. It says, and the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat, right? Let me read verse 15. And shall take of his handful of the flour of the meat offering. This same thing we read in Leviticus, the 2nd chapter. And of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the meat offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial of it unto Yahweh. And the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat. Right, so the remainder of the offering, right? Aaron and his sons, they get to eat that, right? It says, with unleavened bread shall it be eaten in the holy place, right? So they eat this in the holy place. This is in the tabernacle. It says, and in the court of the tabernacle of congregation shall they eat it, right? So Aaron and his sons, they in the tabernacle cooking. You had a daily sacrifice. They ate of that, right? You had the sacrifice on the Sabbath day. They ate of that. Right, sacrifice on the new moons. They ate of that. You know, they was eating. Right. It says, it shall not be baken with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is the most holy, and is the sin offering and the trespass offering. Right. and all the males among the children of Aaron shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations concerning the offerings of the Lord made by fire. For everyone that toucheth them shall be holy. Right? So I just wanted to bring that out to show that, the Levites was even cooking on the Sabbath. Right? Doing offerings, sacrifices, cooking. Right? So we dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. Is there anything else we got to bring out?
Yeah, so so apparently they believe in a double Sabbath.
A double Sabbath.
Yeah, so go to 1 Samuel 20. And I ain't never heard of this.
Change this damn background.
I got this from Ariala's video. Not verbatimly from Jeshurun, but I think it came from Jeshurun. So I don't want to be mistaken, but we're going to address it anyway.
Alright, Salakia, hold on real quick.
You bought StreamYard?
Huh?
You bought StreamYard?
Yeah, I pay for it.
I don't know why the advertisement is in the corner right there.
I'm finna hide it.
Yeah, they're trying to
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had to click hide. But yeah, where we going? Salakia.
1 Samuel 20.
Oh yeah. It is other stuff we got to go into. Right, with the number of days in a month and all of that, right? But yeah, 1 Samuel 20. Where you starting at?
24.
You said 4.
24, nigga.
Alright, go ahead.
So it's talking about a double new moon. Oh, you got to share your screen.
Oh shit. Not bad, nigga. Yeah, this was crazy. I don't know, this shit was crazy.
Yeah, so the contention or the contrary position is they believe in a double new moon. So I think they say that we have too many transition days. So yeah, but if we have a double new moon, wouldn't that be a transition day too? Anyways, this is 1 Samuel 20 and verse 24. So David hid himself in the field. And when the new moon was come, right? It said, when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. Verse 25. Mm-hmm. And the king sat upon his seat, as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Verse 26. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean, right? So here's the contention, verse 27. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, right? It didn't say it was the second day of the new moon, right? Verse 24, it said when the new moon was come. Now we're saying when the second day of the month was come, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore come not the son of Jesse to meet, neither yesterday nor to feast. So just because they're feasting 2 days in a row and David is missing, doesn't mean that the new moon was 2 days in a row. This isn't a sufficient place to conclude that.
Right.
I don't know where else they would go. That there is no place you could go to where it says second new moon. Whenever new moon is mentioned, like you got to understand, new moon is a legally recognized concept, and it's always dealing with the first day. It's in that Torah. It never says second day. Even though
how you gonna have 2 first days of the month? Yeah,
even though the moon can be dark as hell for 2 consecutive days, but there's only one day of the new moon when it's at its peak darkness, right? Yeah, so it ain't too much.
Yeah, I didn't even understand that. Like what? I didn't even understand that one. You know what they was trying to do with that. Because it literally say second day of the month. Alright.
Yeah, they kind of slid past that real quick. Like, they just and then they just kept going. Like, nah, we got to talk about that shit a little bit more.
Right.
So let me see what else they got. we could go into the fact that the Levites killed their brother real quick. So go to Exodus 32. So they brought up the contention of Exodus 40, where we built the tabernacle on the first day. So supposedly that means that it can't be a Sabbath. But if the Most High commands something, it overrides his initial commandment, right? So we got thou shalt not kill. We know that's thou shalt not murder in actuality. But the Most High gave the Levites commandment to kill every man their brother. And they ended up slaying about 3,000 something people. Go to verse 26. So going to Exodus 40 to say that they worked so that it can't be the Sabbath anymore. It's like going to Exodus 32 and saying we can murder because the Most High permitted murder. No, it's not a prayer. You can't draw that conclusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So verse 26. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, "Who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me." And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto him, "Thus said the Lord God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp." He's saying, slide on these niggas, man. And slay
Right.
every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses. Thus said the Lord, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. For Moses had said, "Consecrate yourselves today to the Lord, even every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day." Now that's like the Most High giving Abraham commandment to kill his son. He didn't go through with it, but guess what? The Levites, they went through with the shit, and they were still permitted. The Most High ain't pump fake right here. See what I'm saying? So when you go to verse 30, and it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, "Ye have sinned a great sin." What was the sin? What was the sin, Kazak?
You said what? My bad.
I said, what was the sin? It said, and it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people.
Oh, they committed idolatry.
Right. So sin wasn't the Levites killing every man their brother. That was commandment. Right. And now I will go up unto the Lord. Pre-adventure, I shall make an atonement for your sin. Mm-hmm. So, the Levites were guiltless. So, just like when you go to Deuteronomy 33:9, it kind of hypes Levi up. It said, "Who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him. Neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children, for they have observed thy word and kept thy commandment." That's the same thing they're doing in Exodus 40, observing the word and keeping the commandment. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you could liken Levites unto angels, man. That's what I'm going to tell you, dog. You know what I'm saying? The Levites bring out the will of the Most High. And like I said, they're like mediators, man. We got a certain duty that we got to attain to. So,
and who is we? We the angels, nigga. We the angels, nigga. That's who we is. Oh, bro. A is in the chat. I see South Carolina. Shout out Angel, South Carolina, man. Out there doing big things. Brothers out there in Augusta, Georgia, man.
So what else we got to touch on?
Should I go into that breakdown of how it's with the 30 days? Cause what was the contention? What was I showing with that?
The 30 days.
How the 29th wouldn't be considered a Shabbat, right?
Yeah.
Should I go into that? Should I just hold it?
Go into it. So I think their stance is whenever there's a 30th day of the month, that means that there's a double new moon. Like we see in Samuel, what we just read.
All right, talking about whenever there's a 30th day of the month.
If there's a double new moon, shit, we gotta put the showbread on the table. Like we gotta eat that bit real quick.
That's crazy work, right?
We gotta make a new tray out there, nigga.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
We gotta hurry up and eat that.
It sounds like.
Brothers gotta hurry up and eat them 12 cakes the day before, just to eat some more tomorrow.
Hell yeah, boy.
That's crazy work. But yeah, let's go to Genesis though. Right. So according to the Bible, right, I know brothers be looking it up and all that. It say, what it say, 29.5, 29 and a half days.
Yeah.
Right. But according to the Bible, according to Scripture, it's 30 days in the Hebrew month. How do we know that? Right. You can't really count a half day. Right. It's like you gotta just round it up to being 30 days. This is how we know. This is we gonna go into the book of Genesis, right? You gotta go into the flood story to know these things, to know how many days it is in the Hebrew month, right? So we gonna read Genesis chapter 7, and I'm gonna start at verse 11, right? So in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month. So you got the second month on the 17th day, right, of the month. The same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were open. So this is the day that the flood started, right? So now I'm going to jump down to verse 18. And the waters prevailed and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went upon the face of the waters, right? I'm going to jump down to I'm going to read 23. Every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive. It says, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. Verse 24. And the waters prevail upon the earth 150 days, right? So the second from the second month, the 17th day of the month, the waters was upon the earth 150 days after that, right? So now let's go to the next chapter. Genesis 8. Right, this is Genesis 8 and verse 4. I'm gonna read verse 3 first. It says, I'm gonna read verse 2. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. So after the 150 days, the waters were abated. What does it mean to abate? To go down, right? It says, and the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat, right? So on the 7th month, on the 17th day, the Lord is being specific right now for a reason, right? This is how we get our 30 days in the Hebrew calendar for every month, right? So you got the second month, the 17th day, right? Then you have the 7th month, the 17th day. That's 5 months. That's 5 months apart, right? So 150 days. It says that's a span of 150 days. So you take 150 and you divide it by 5. What do you get? You get 30, right? It's 30 days. So in that month, in that span of 150 days, and that which was a span of 5 months, each month had 30 days. This is how we get the 30-day, months, right? According to our calendar, right? So you can't just say, the new moon come every 29 and a half. The Lord said 30 days based on the math that he gave us, right? It's 30 days. So let's say, how I'm gonna show this.
My nigga,
so we keep the
evening determines the days, not the peak of the new moon.
You said what?
I say, can you hear me? I say evening to evening determines the days, not the peak of the moon.
Right. So let me turn my headphones on.
So ain't no 29 and a half.
Right. So let's do it like this. What you got? The 1st, the 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd. Right. First being the new moon, right, and then the 22nd. So from the 22nd to the 1st, that is, along with the transitional day, right, that's a 8-day span, That's an 8-day span. Counting a 30-day month, right? The 30th day would be the transition day, right? If the brother's saying that the new moon is not the Sabbath, right? So you go all the way to they take it from the 29th, and then they go all the way to the 8th day, right? That's a 9-day span, and ultimately counting the 30, because you have 30 days in the Hebrew month according to the math that we just did, right? So they would need 2 transitional days, right? This is how they tried to throw that double Sabbath in there. You see that?
Now you know what they do. When
What?
it's the 30th day, they observe the Sabbath on the 30th instead of the 29th. So that they keep it a day late, I believe.
They keep it a day late.
Yeah, looking at it.
But Salaki, even either way though, that's still damn near 2 transitional days.
Yeah.
Because y'all next Sabbath ain't until the 8th. Right? So if you keeping it from the 29th or you doing it on the 30th, okay, so you skipping the 29th, which you made the 29th a transitional day. And then now you going all the way to the 8th. You need another transitional day. Right? Because that from the 30 to the 8th is 8 days. So you need another transitional day because the Sabbath is supposed to be only every 7. Right? So yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work, right? So you were supposed to keep the Sabbath the 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, right? And then from the 22nd to the new moon, right? You have one transitional day between that, right? And which would be on your 30th day, right? And then basically you have the new moon.
Yeah, you can't say we have too many transitional days, but then you also have transitional days. You just reorchestrating where they're placed at.
Yeah, yeah.
Then the main contention with that is the showbread. Like, so we're gonna place it. So on the 29th, we're gonna have the showbread. Then the next day on the new moon, we're gonna have the showbread again.
Exactly.
Or if you say there's a 30th date, would the showbread be placed on the 29th or the 30th? If it is the 29th, then the first, which is a day after or 2 days after, you could say, the showbread would have to be remade. Like it doesn't make sense like that.
You're right. Even with if we go back to 1 Samuel, what was that, 20? 1 Samuel 20 going down to 20. Remember, David hid the day before the new moon, right? He said, tomorrow's the new moon, I'm not going to show up, woo, 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 right? When he showed up to, what was that, Abimelech? Abimelech had showbread. David said, give me some of that, right? That's the next chapter. I'm tripping. Right? Abimelech had Ahimelech. So like Ahimelech. This 1 Samuel 21:1. Then came David to Nob to Ahimelech the priest, and Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, why art thou alone, and no man with thee? And David said unto Ahimelech the priest, the king hath commanded me a business, and have said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee. And I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now therefore, what is under thy hand, give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under my hand, but there is hallowed bread. This is the showbread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women. And David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days. So David went in for 3 days, and it says about these 3 days since I came out. And then he came out for 3 days, right? So in for 3 days, right? And then out for 3 days. That lands you to the next Sabbath. That's why showbread was present, right? Since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner. So like the cats is outside fighting, right? It said in a manner common, yea, though it be sanctified this day in Israel, right? So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread that was taken from before Yahweh to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. So they swap it out, right? So Ahimelech had the bread from the previous new moon because it stays on there the whole week.
You know where that's
And then, yeah. So it's saying that's cold. That, look, hold on, Kapad. It just said that he swapped the bread out. Ahimelech had the bread from the previous Sabbath, which was what? The fucking new moon, nigga. The previous Sabbath. And then 6 days after that.
They're gonna say the 29th or the
They're gonna say the 29th. They're gonna say they can't say that. Hey, this nasty. This nasty because it say, and the bread in the manner, verse 5, and the bread is in a manner common, yea, though it was sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread but the showbread that was taken from before the Lord to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. So you put that bread up there weekly, and the 12 cakes, the 12 loaves, they stay up there in the midst of the week, so the priest can eat them with the sacrifices. So Ahimelech, he took the bread that was already made from the previous Shabbat, right, which was the new moon, because 6 days prior before this was the new moon, which David didn't show up at, right? And he had the hot bread. It said fresh bread was placed there, right, on that day, which means this day was a Shabbat, right? So that's cold. That's cold right there. That's cold. And it's like,
I don't know if their standpoint is the new moon being made on the showbread being made on the new moon in cycles. I'm not sure if they think that. But,
well, this just showed that.
Yeah.
It definitely just showed that.
Then we also got Second Chronicles we went to, so that's just solidified.
Yeah, that's solidified. The new moon is the Sabbath, man. It's solidified. It's solidified.
What else we missed? Yeah, they got some strange shit.
My damn phone then died. I gotta plug it in. What else we got, man?
I'm trying to see what TikTok's shot. Matter of fact, if you could pull up my comment section on your on stream, they got like 50 comments under my little post, so we could address those comments.
I gotta go on Facebook for that, huh? Is your page public?
Yeah.
How am I logged into this Facebook? The cats is outside going crazy. All I hear is screeching. I'm logged in on my other Facebook, my old one. That's why I asked if your page public.
Yeah, the comment good, cuz they get that.
Alright, cuz, let's see. Share my screen. Man, let me click all comments.
I got another point, man. That shit just reminded me of something. That shit just reminded me of something. But yeah, you can go ahead. You can go through them comments. Let's see what we can address. Yeah, you got to place on all comments.
Yeah, I got it on all comments.
Oh, okay, cool. They be trying to hide shit. Go to some
Ezekiel.
interesting.
You want to go to the newer comments?
I don't know, just shit. Just see what sounds interesting. You gotta open them hoes up. There's like 9 responses right there.
Okay, I got you. Brother saying because it's the Sabbath month in Ezekiel 46. Because it's the month. 7th month, read chapter 45, verse 35, the verse right before the same argument. Amos chapter 45 is a recap of Leviticus 23.
Hold on, what that means? Go down a little bit. Hold on. Because it's month 7. Read chapter 45, 25, the verse right before the same argument for Amos chapter 45. So Amos is a recap of Leviticus 23. Okay, let's speak on that. Go to Amos 8:1. Because Leviticus 23, the argument for that is the 7th month Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
But Amos, that shit can't be no 7 month. You know why? It said a basket of summer fruit. Is the summer?
Yeah, summer fruit.
Is the summer the 7th month? Yeah, so in Leviticus 23 and 39, before we read that, also in the 15th day of the 7th month. So this is verbatimly a Sabbath, right? And in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep unto the Lord the 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, right? So it's vehemently calling the first day a Sabbath in this passage. And on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. So they're saying Amos must be a repeat of Leviticus 23 because it's treating the first day as a Sabbath. But let's read Amos 8:1. Thus hath the Lord God showed unto me, and behold, a basket of summer fruit. Now go to that word for summer fruit. Is it going to be qua something? This isn't the same word for like general fruit. This is a specific word.
Quiet geese.
Summer fruit. Yeah, summer fruit. Harvest. Go down a little bit.
Go down.
Yeah. Grain of fruit. Or the dry season summer fruit. Yeah, that's verbatim. So summer isn't in the 15th day of the 7th month. So Amos isn't a repeat of Leviticus 23. We can't say that. So yeah, so also let's read down Amos. Well, we ain't speaking on Amos today. Let's
want to read down on it.
Yeah, let's take a little different approach on it. So we know that this is dealing with the summer, so it cannot be a repeat of Leviticus 23. So thus hath the Lord God showed unto me, and behold, a basket of summer fruit. And he said, Amos, this is a vision, right? And he said, Amos, what seest thou? And I said, a basket of summer fruit.
Summer fruit.
Then said the Lord unto me, the end is come upon my people of Israel. I will not again pass by them any more. And the songs of the temple shall be howlings in that day, said the Lord God. There shall be many dead bodies in every place. They shall cast them forth with silence. Hear this, O that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fall. Right? Okay, now boom. This is verse 5, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've heard somebody make a point and say, on the new moon, everybody was sacrificing. That's why nobody was selling. But right here, the holdup isn't they need to go sacrifice. The holdup is we are in the day of the new moon. So when will the new moon be gone that we may sell corn? Not when will we finish bringing our sacrifices that we may sell corn. That's a disingenuous thesis of the text. And the
that's a lock here.
Yeah.
So the new moon, according to the brothers, the new moon is not a Sabbath. You know, so it's a regular feast day or whatever. You know, it's just a day that we get together and eat. or what they call a solemn assembly. Is that what they were saying? They was calling it a appointed feast or whatever,
Yeah,
whatever they was
appointed
calling
feast.
it.
I think they say it's a non-work day, but it doesn't mean that
Right.
it's a Sabbath.
So it shouldn't be no problem with you going and getting some corn on the new moon because it's a
They're trying to
feast.
sell. Yeah, they're trying to sell it too.
No, it shouldn't be no problem with somebody trying to get some corn though. If somebody was trying to get some corn for the new moon, right? Because you cooking, you cooking or whatever. It's just a feast day, right? You gotta have a meal or whatever. Why is it a problem for a person that's selling corn to, sell corn on that day? If it's just a solemn feast or a solemn assembly.
The thing with selling is you're not being dependent on anybody but the buyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to sell, nobody's stopping you from selling.
Mm-hmm.
It said that we may sell, so they could not sell except for the new moon to be gone. Then they'll be permitted. So finishing the verse, and the Sabbath that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by the sea, that we may buy the poor for silver and the needy for a pair of shoes, yea, and sell the refuse of the wheat. Right, so they couldn't even buy the poor. They couldn't buy servants on the new moon. I don't see what we're doing right here. I don't see what we're doing.
I don't see what we're doing either.
Yeah, they even said the Passover wasn't a work day. I mean, we already spoke of that. So we can go back to the comments. Let's see what else we can do. Oh yeah, you getting some?
I was looking at something. It's all good though. I was just looking at some things. All right, back to the comments.
So he said, because it's month 7, read chapter 45, 25, the verse right before the yard. The same for Amos chapter 45 is a recap of Leviticus 23. We got that.
So like I'm finna grab some water real quick.
Yeah, you nigga thirsty, yeah.
Hey, watch out, dude.
The first day of Sabbath, the 8th day of Sabbath, the 15th of Sabbath, the 22nd of the Sabbath. In the scripture, we see no implication of the 29th or the 30th being the Sabbath. Let's see, right? Let's do something real quick. Is there, I'm going to ask ChatGPT, is there a passage in
Nigga carry a gallon of water everywhere he go, calling me thirsty. This nigga tweaking.
God,
Look, they got a gallon right there. Look. Alright, good.
I'm trying to see, is there a passage in the Bible where the 29th is a new moon? I'm asking ChatGPT.
A new moon or a Sabbath?
Oh, it's Sabbath, I'm sure. Nigga, they're all tired and shit. Yeah, so it said no further than 29th. Let's see about the 22nd.
Yeah, Exodus 16. We kept it on the 22nd.
Yep, so for the 22nd, and for the 15th, and for the 8th, and for the 1st, your scriptures you can go to prove the Sabbath. You can't do it for 29th or the 30th. I wonder why. Right? Yeah, we can see what else we can address. We just beating a dead horse at this point.
Yep. Beating the dead horse out.
Matter of fact, go to 2 Chronicles 7.
After this, we done with this shit. We on to the next. I'm saying after this live stream, we done with this shit. We on to the next. But yeah, we anything we see that's looking crazy and contrary to scripture, we go deal with it through the Spirit.
Yeah, it's Second Chronicles 7.
Oh, you said 7th chapter. So we want to start at
7 verse 10. Okay, and on the 23rd day, right? This is the 23rd day of the 7th month. He sent the people away into their tents, glad and merry in heart, for the goodness that the Lord has showed unto David and Solomon and to his people Israel. Now, why did it say the 23rd day? Because the Sabbath was the 22nd.
right.
And then the 8th day was Solomon, for they kept. Yeah, so they kept the dedication of the altar 7 days and the feast 7 days. Right. So all that shit lines up, but you see no implication of the 29th being the Sabbath or the 30th. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so they ask questions at the end of their stream. My question is, can you show the 29th or the 30th being the Sabbath? Right. You got any questions for that? They look like you tired of that.
This the same shit like it was with Genesis. You know, I deal with the shit for 2 days or whatever, and then I be on to the next, bro. This shit really is. It's really no more we could do with this shit. Like, we didn't show these brothers how you know the rebuttals that they made was not biblical. Showed these brothers how, you know, the priests do work on the Shabbat. You know, the thing with David and the showbread, another dagger. I wasn't even thinking about it. I just walked into that my damn self. Walked right into it. I was like, hold on, wait, this shit. Same way with Exodus 40. Brother still ain't dealt with that. You know, all you saying is that, you know, they ain't really say nothing with that. Same with Ezekiel 46. Brothers can't really say nothing with that. Y'all brothers just hopping in the water with these doctrines and all that. And it may sound good, it may look good, but it's not good. It's not sound. All right, let me bring this up real quick, man. And I was finna wear my shirt that say Defender of Sound Doctrine on there. Because that's what we try to pride ourselves as. That's why our email is DOSD Reloaded. Defenders of Sound Doctrine Reloaded. Right? Because that's what we are. So, like, verse 1. This Titus 2:1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Right? We got to speak sound doctrine, and we got to defend sound doctrine. We can't just be out here hopping in the water, just bringing anything out that sound good. So, like, it has to be sound. Like, let's see what this word for sound is. Hygiano. Say what? To be sound, to be well, to be in good health, whatever. Of Christians whose opinions are free from any mixture of error. So it's free from any mixture of error. That's what sound means, right? And this new moon and the Sabbath, that's a mixture of error, right? It's error within that. You said what?
Go to Dennis Kelly, the next word.
Where is that at?
It's the next word in the verse.
Oh, the next word for doctrine? Yes. All right, I'm going to go to it. I just want to touch on
doctrine is basically parallel with Torah, which means teaching, instruction, guidance.
Let's go to it.
It has a parallel meaning to it.
All right. Didascalia. Doctrine, learning, teaching. Right.
Same definition as the Torah.
Teaching, instruction. Yep. That's the Torah. Teaching, that which is taught. Doctrine, teaching, precepts. Right. Which are laws. Right. So we got to speak sound doctrine. And this is what we do, man. We out here teaching knowledge. Knowledge is the laws. This is what we do, right? Let me go to Malachi. Malachi 2. This is the book of Malachi chapter 2, verse 7. It says, "For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts." So we go keep knowledge as priests. We go keep knowledge. That's all you go get. You know, coming out of our mouth. Pause. No diddy. Right. That's all you go get. Right. Is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Right. And the people, they should seek the law at our mouth. Right. You got brothers just coming up, going into the law, and just coming out with any kind of breakdown, and it ain't sound. Right. Let me bring this up. This 1 Timothy. Is it 1 Timothy? Might be 2nd. Yep, no, 1 Timothy 1. It says, 1 Timothy 1 and 6, "From which some having swerved have turned aside unto vain jangling." Right, brothers trying to do vain jangling. You doing these, coming out with these breakdowns. You know, trying to come out with the next big thing. You know, so brothers could look to you and be like, "Oh yeah, these brothers are sound. I'm gonna follow these brothers. They coming out with some new." That's that damn Genesis mindset, right? You're trying to come with the next big thing, you know. And this shit is not biblical at all, right? You don't want to be like them brothers. I'm sure the brothers, they don't want to be like them brothers. So you know, you gotta pay close attention and take heed to what you really bringing out and what you really teaching these people, man, because they sheep, and the Lord hold high regard, and it's not no small matter to teach to the sheep. Right, because what you lead, where you leading them, the Lord can hold you accountable for that. Right, you telling people the new moon not a Sabbath, and somebody go and they buy on a new moon, you just got them to transgress on the Shabbat. See what I'm saying, Kapad? Yeah, that's a sin. Yeah, it's a "from which some having swerved have turned aside unto vain jangling." Right, verse 7. The point: desiring to be teachers of the law. Brothers out here desiring to be teachers of the law, right? But that's not your office, right? That's not your lot. It's a understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm. So you're not understanding what you saying or what you trying to affirm. This doctrine y'all pushing, y'all not understanding it, and I pray that y'all repent from it.
Go to Deuteronomy 33 and 10.
All right, come on.
Right, speaking of teaching the law and shit, like when you're about to come out with a new doctrine, it's cool to get the opinions of different camps and shit like that. But
you said 3 and 10?
Yeah, 33 and 10, nigga.
Oh, okay.
All right, the tribe of Levi is here for a reason, nigga. So instead of how many camps you talk to, how many Levites were involved in those camps? I'm not saying it's mandated, but it won't hurt to include them. So
shit, you got Levites that be going on.
Yeah, that's why I'm careful with how I say that.
You just gotta know who to go to, man. You just gotta know who to go. Just because a brother is a Levite don't mean that he don't got the. I mean that he understand it completely and fully. You know,
there was one time at a what was it, Warren? It was some shit, but they were like about 5 Levites. I done came to a question with so about the law of honoring your father and your mother. Would that pertain to your grandfather and your grandmother? They gave me about. I mean, it's really only 2 different answers, but they were all differentiating in the answers they were giving me. So, so with a grain of salt. But Deuteronomy 33 and 10, they shall teach Jacob thy judgments and Israel thy law. They shall put incense before thee and hold burnt sacrifice upon thine oxen. Right? So that's the chess piece of Levi. That's the position that he's in.
Right.
So, hey,
I don't know what else more they want from us. I don't know what more they want from us, man. You see? got my angels hat. I ain't got it with me right now. But con, man. So, yeah, it ain't really shit else. We gave them 2 hours. Gave them 2 hours, and you know they should be satisfied with that. What was your question again? That you have for them brothers?
Can you show verbatimly the Sabbath being said to be on the 29th or the 30th? Because we can do that for the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd. We can't do that for the 29th or the 30th unless they can show otherwise. That's my question.
And I think I do got a question. Matter of fact, why do it say in 1 Samuel 21 that the showbread that David was given, it was replaced by with fresh showbread? So what day does that mean that showbread that David was given was made? That means that it was made on the new moon, right? And then the showbread that replaced it was made fresh on that day, which was the Sabbath, right? Because David went in for 6 days and then he came out. I mean, he went in for 3 days and came out for 6 days. I mean, for 3 days. That's 6 days. So that's the Shabbat. So
yeah. So if we can prove that the showbread was made the new moon, and it's already substantiated by law that it has to be made every Sabbath, that would mean
every Sabbath
the showbread was made on back-to-back days, or at least a day skip a day, then the showbread would be made then. Like, it doesn't really fit like that. Right?
It don't.
So the question would be, is the showbread made on the new moon?
Right.
That'll be problematic. They would have to
They would have to say the showbread not made on the new moon, but they would be in direct discrepancy with Exodus 40. Yeah. And that precept that Sirach pulled.
Yeah,
so, yeah, Second Chronicles. So yeah, it's game over for that. It's game over. We landed in the casket. We just had the funeral for that doctrine. We just had the funeral for that shit. We just laid it to rest through the Spirit. Gave him 2 hours and some change. Laid it to rest. And it is what it is through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right, it is what it is. This shirt kind of hitting though. I ain't wear this bitch in a minute. Oh my mama, this bitch hitting.
That's on pop ass.
I just threw it on for the live stream. I wasn't what? Yeah. But con. So you got anything else up? Hold on, let me make you full screen. Dog. Hold on. Alright, good. Hey, fuck with the brother, man.
5'9", I be dunking that motherfucker. I just got out.
Look at that boy. That nigga got the boy yoinks.
These some little baby dunks right here, man.
That nigga got the boy off vert.
Yeah.
What's your shit? What you a 35-inch vert?
Hell nah, nigga. 46, 47.
Hey, you said 46, 47? Bro, yeah. Bro, got a 30-inch vert, brother. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah.
You said 40, 47, 48?
About 46, 47. I gotta get it tested.
What was your shit before the injury?
I've been dunking off vert since 15, and I've been injured.
So you better now after the injury than you was before the injury.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Come.
So I've been injured for like 3-4 years. Some shit.
Come. All praise to the Most High. All right, so yeah, we gonna wrap it up through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We the angels, man. I'm Priest Kazak.
Priest Kupad, man. Murder hand.
All right, man. A's up, man. Y'all see it. Defend the sound doctrine. We don't care who you is. We Levites ain't no respect to persons. What it say? I have not seen to my father and my mother. I have not seen them. Right? I'm blind. This judgment is blind. I'm swinging a sword at anybody. You feel me? This is blind judgment. So with that, I'm gonna give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Shem Shah. Say, Kum Yasha Shalom.
Shalom.